Southside 457.
Did you know that the Southside on Lamar is a National Historic Building?
This building tells a story.
I need a story to connect to with my heart.
There are so many stories in this building.
I wanted to teach other people how to naturally love themselves, and so I ventured into the field of opening my own spot.
There are people in this building with a passion to share what they know.
When I share my knowledge and my skills and my gift, I'm serving my purpose.
Preachers, teachers, architects, attorneys, engineers, artists of all kinds in this building.
What makes this place tick to me and makes it exciting is the combination of so many different kinds of people.
It's like a melting pot.
It's like a melting pot.
15 years, I've never regretted being here at Southside.
Welcome to the Southside 457 podcast. I'm your host, Walter Johnson Jr. Let's get it on. You can't miss the princess.
Listen, Linda, listen.
Southside 457.
Welcome to the Southside 457 podcast. I'm your host, Walter Johnson Jr., and today we have another special guest. This brother grew up in Jamaica, spent a lot of time in Toronto, Canada, and now resides here in Dallas, doing a lot of major things for a lot of major people. This brother's name is Rick Henry. He has a courtesy patrol that handles a lot of the southern community and beyond Dallas. And, welcome to the show, Rick.
Walter, thank you so much. This is a real professional environment. I get the feeling I'm maybe on a Joe Rogan show or being interviewed by Sports Illustrated. Well, thank you for having me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that I always ask everybody when they get on the Southside 457 podcast is, how did you get to the Southside? Because Southside, it's becoming more and more prevalent now, and people know what it is and know where it is. But you've been here for a while, so how did you bump into the Southside? Because I always say you don't just bump into this place. You got to get invited or get introduced to it. So tell us your story of how you got to the Southside.
Well, I will tell you. I grew up in Toronto. I was a bouncer. Wrestled also at York University in Toronto. Jack Matthews, a Canadian, had bought the building, I think in the late 90s, and he wanted someone to come and run the courtesy team. A friend of mine I attended school with, as well as on my wrestling team, referred me to Jack to come down and set the whole courtesy security concept up. So we have so much courtesy, we don't need security. That's been our ongoing little chatter throughout the years between Jack and myself.
Say that again.
We have so much courtesy.
Much courtesy.
Yes, we don't need security.
You don't need security.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
So you got here. Did you know? So you knew Jack in Canada?
Yeah. Yes.
So what was your relationship with Jack in Canada?
Well, I met him a few times here and there over the years with my friend Scott, his cousin.
Yes.
But also, I came here sight unseen.
Wow.
The little I knew about Jack, I knew he was a person of great character.
Mm-hmm.
So I just took a risk and came down. It's worked out quite well.
So when you first got here, what were you thinking? Because it's not like what it is now. You were more like combat.
Well, I tell you, it was never, in my mind, a dangerous area. It was just abandoned. But funny story. Before I came down here, I lived up at the golf course, the Tribute Golf Course in the Colony.
Yeah, and
I was almost shot by a security person who did not pass on proper information for the next person coming on at midnight. So I heard a knock on my door. Late one night, early one morning, I walked out. They had a gun pointed at my head, So luckily, it turned out well. I'm still here, but that was a real. My friends in Canada joked to me about there's so many guns in the U.S. Why the hell would you move there, right? So yeah, but I survived. And I'm still here.
And then you got one put to your head.
Yeah, right in my head, like almost. Welcome to Texas.
So let's go back a little bit. You grew up in Jamaica. What part of Jamaica?
Well, I grew up in a place called Fern District, which is about 45-minute drive from the Montego Bay Airport.
Okay.
we refer to that in Jamaica as back of the bush.
Back of the bush.
Much like we refer to the sticks here. So way up in rural Jamaica, so there's nothing there but animals and just some good people though.
Is that where you learn how to wrestle?
No, it's funny, man. I learned how to wrestle when I came to Canada with my grandma, and we often watched wrestling on TV. And she thought it was real. I wasn't sure. But over time, I started wrestling in high school, and I realized the stuff on TV. I'm not gonna say it's fake, but it's not as real as it would seem. So that's how I started to wrestle.
I got you.
Yeah.
So Jamaica, back in the bush, north of the Montego Bay Airport.
Just west, I guess.
West.
Just west, yeah.
So how long did you live in Jamaica, and what was it like in Jamaica growing up? And then what was that like moving to Canada? But let's,
Yeah, I lived in Jamaica. I think I was 9 or 10 when I left.
Yeah.
It was it was quiet, quiet small town community, much like small town community in the U.S. or wherever else you want. I grew up with my grandmother and my grandfather primarily. On weekends, I would go to the bush with my grandfather, Mr. Blake, to attend to his cows and so forth. My grandma was very protective of myself and my cousin that we lived with. But it was a real good experience. Different experience. Sometimes we'd have to go to the river and catch water to bathe before we went to school, that type of thing. So it was real. I learned a lot from that. Still, I try to be a really humble person. That living that lifestyle, it really humbles you as a person throughout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me, what was what caused you guys to move, or what made you guys move to Toronto out of Jamaica?
Well, many Jamaican parents, mom or dad or both, quite often left Jamaica, went to Canada, USA, or Britain, just to create a better life for themselves and their kids. And once they were established, they brought the kids to be with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Jamaica and Canada. There's some weather in Canada that Jamaicans have never seen or never even dreamed. So what was that like? Your first winter in Canada coming from Jamaica. Do you remember it?
I do. And I remember I was living in Toronto, a place called Rexdale at the time. It was cold. And I remember in Canada, we play a game called foot hockey, basically with a tennis ball where you're kicking a ball, right?
Yeah.
So there's a big kid there, a big white kid, name was Ross. And he said, "Hey, Rick, you want to play?" And I said, "No, actually, I'm good. I was kind of shy." He said, "Well, F you then." This was like grade 5, so it just really shook my whole soul. Like, holy smokes, this guy just, because I'm a small town kid from Jamaica, my grandma was very protective of me. There's not many curse words whatsoever, so I was pretty shaken up. But after a while, I got acclimated to it.
Right.
Yeah.
So the winter, the cold weather, what was that like?
It was terrible. Well, I got used to it, right?
Yeah,
I got used to it, but then I'm not used to it now. I hesitate to go back to Canada to visit my friends or family this time of year because it's just a bad deal. It's just not very friendly to me at all.
Okay, so do you remember the first time you saw snow?
Not vividly. I just know when that guy Ross shook me up, it was snowy outside.
Right.
Yeah, I know that.
So, you grew up. You started wrestling, and then you went to the university. Did you get a scholarship or anything like that for wrestling? Or?
No, we don't have scholarships per se in Canada.
Okay.
It's funny. I was supposed to join the military because
Mm-hmm.
I had a plan of what I wanted to do for 5 years, then join the Canadian Secret Service.
Mm-hmm.
But then I had some vision challenges, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was denied because of that. So I didn't go that I didn't go that route, and that's sort of what happened there, Yeah.
But then you just went wrestling. Did you want to go pro as a wrestler, or did you go pro?
No, man, you're bringing everything up. So Often in high school, my friend called me Nature because my wrestling hero was Rick Nature Boy Flair.
Oh, I don't
So
know. I remember.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it was quite. I had a couple of tryouts, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
But in the end, I always wrestled, and that was my identity for a long time up until I came here. I still wrestled at University of Guelph and bounced at the bars. And when I came here in 1990, I came here in 2000. I'd gone to the Pan American Games for Canada
Mhm.
in 1999. So it was time I stopped wrestling and just moved on with my life.
Do you have any children?
I do not. No,
Okay.
no. But I do have a stepson that lives in Jamaica with my wife is in Jamaica also.
Okay. How often do you get back to Jamaica?
I try to get there 3 to 4 times a year, just to keep my relationship going, obviously, and for other
To
reasons.
keep my relationship going.
I should get there more. I'm trying to get her over here as well, but it's
Yeah.
some challenging times right now.
Yeah.
When I'm in Jamaica, I just feel different. It's like going home.
You take your hat off.
Yeah, I just feel 1,000% different. My mind is so
Yeah.
settled. It's
Yeah.
But I make my money here, so this is important also.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So speaking of Jamaica, where was any of your family or friends affected by this hurricane that just hit?
Yes, some were impacted negatively. Some, not so much. I haven't spoken to my uncle on my mom's side, her brother.
Yeah.
But I think they're pretty resourceful people though. I met them, believe it or not, for the first time a year ago.
Mhm.
But very good people. Ironically, I found out that I'm not sure if I say this, but my grandfather, who was a marijuana farmer, and then
You can say that.
yeah, then my his son, my uncle, oddly, he was a marijuana farmer, but now he is a peanut farmer because he's found the Lord.
Yeah.
But his son,
he changed his plant.
yeah, but his son is still a marijuana farmer. So it's great. I had a good little joke, laugh about that. Just
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
So, um, when did you go from wrestling to deciding you want to start a courtesy patrol, or how did you go from wrestling to bouncing to, like, what was that transition?
Well, I started bouncing in 1992. There's a bar called Superstars Nightclub.
Mhm.
Big bar, held like 4,000 or 5,000 people
Mhm.
or more. And I think that's when I first met Jack. So I'd escorted a couple of guys out of the bar because they were being deviant, whatever they're doing. I'm not sure, fighting, whatever.
Yeah.
So he said at the end of it, he thought it was so cool how I really handled the situation. By the time we got outside, they were shaking hands, right? And they were friends, and everybody walked away. So that's one of the best points that Jack saw in order to think about it, bring me down when he started Southside years and years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He liked how you de-escalated the
Yeah.
situation and not just taking your authority and just abusing it,
Yeah. Because
like most people do.
yeah. There's no need. Like I said, let's keep it humble. Let's move on
Yeah.
day by day. Right. That's the best way. That's the best way to handle it. But I often shun from bouncing in bars because you're a wrestler. Everyone wants you to do this for them,
Yeah.
do that for them.
Yeah.
The Italians, oh Rick, I want you to come and do this for me and my uncle or whatever. I said no, but so finally I said, you know what? Maybe I'm going to be in the bar anyways, right? So maybe I just work there and make some money in the meantime, right? So that's how it all started. Yeah.
So you started doing the bouncing, and then when did you start your own company? When you came to Dallas?
Yeah, I started that came to Dallas in 2000, I think March, February. Started a company in 2001, roughly. So I got together with Jack, and we thought up the concept and so forth, and what we want to see. So we do some security related work, but not really. We're a courtesy concept only. We monitor persons' properties as well. There's a lot of vacant buildings and vacant properties that we also help to manage for developers in that we'll make sure the grass gets cut. If there's dumping, we take care of it. If a building is vandalized or breached, we also get a third-party contractor sometimes to take care of that as well. That's part of what we do.
So I noticed that you do your interviewing downstairs in the coffee shop or somewhere downstairs.
Yeah.
But I also notice sometimes I see you interview people and I don't see them walking around. So what is it that you're looking for in the type of courtesy patrol that you hire? What is it? Because it's obvious. Like I can walk down there and I could just see the way that you're looking at them, and I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I could tell that they're being studied. So what is it that you're looking for? Like is it certain things that just kind of give it away?
Yeah, we try and find people that have good escalation skills, that are humble, that are naturally what we seem to be good people.
Yeah.
Sure, anyone can fool you in a half-hour interview. And if we make a bad decision and bring someone on, we try and have them go elsewhere as soon as possible. We do the interviews in the coffee shop. It's an open concept. We don't want to bring anyone to our office too soon that we may not know,
Yeah.
So that's sort of why we do things there. But like I said, a lot of it's based on instincts.
Yeah.
There's plenty of companies that conduct interviews over the internet or
Yeah.
a phone call. We don't think that works. We like to get people in the environment. And sometimes I will do an interview with them. I have one of my team members give them a 10, 15-minute walk, because a lot of times they'll be more truthful to my team members. Then we come together and we talk about it.
Yeah.
Will this person fit? We think so. Yes, no. And then let's move on. But like I said, the important thing is if we make a mistake and hire someone that we don't think is correct, we try and change it as soon as possible.
I got you. You said elsewhere. You kind of send them elsewhere. Where's elsewhere?
Wherever they want to go, wherever they want to go, but it's not here. So we're very protective of ourselves and our clients, whether it be MSW or Southside, Alamo, Gillies, whoever. We're very, very protective of them and their assets and their reputation as well as ours too.
What was the shortest interview that you had that you just like you just realized, okay, this is not going to work and I'm not going to spend any more time doing this? What was the shortest interview?
Probably about 2 minutes. Probably happened 15 years ago. There's a bunch of guys. They came. They were from of African descent.
Yeah.
And I just said, "Hey guys, it's not going to work. Let's see ya."
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I knew they're up to
Yeah.
no good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, now that you are here in Dallas and Southside, and what do you feel? Like, what's your thoughts on this? You've seen this community grow from. I mean, you've seen the rose grow out of the concrete, so to speak.
Big time.
So, can you explain a little bit about the past, present, and where you see it going?
Well, the past, like I said, it was basically an abandoned area. A lot of vacant buildings, a lot of non-sheltered persons in the area. And you're never going to avoid that.
Yeah.
A lot of high weeds, 6 feet tall in the area, which the code enforcement has done a better job over the years with maintaining that landscape. Now, good population. People live here. We have entertainment. We have nightclubs. We have bars. We're here to manage all of that best we can. The non-shelters are here to stay. We just have to manage them and be as polite as possible. They're people too, right? How we engage with them and the community is super, super, super important. Everyone's human. Everyone's got a right to live. So we try and just be as peaceful as possible. If things get out of hand, we are proactive, call for our backup with our guys, or we call DPD, EMS, whoever it is, before it gets out of hand. So knock on wood, in over 20 years, none of us have seriously gotten hurt. So that's really important. Future, I would tell you, the next 5 years or before that and beyond that, this area is going to change so much because of the work that Matthews and their teams doing is really revolutionizing the neighborhood. The whole Southside Cedars neighborhood is really it's got so much upside, much upside. It's going to change a lot. Development.
So, okay, let's have a little fun. You said that your vision challenge some of your which kept you from the work you wanted to do. You said it also got you in trouble with some of the ladies, and you
Well, yeah, sometimes, like I said, especially when I was in college, you're supposed to be interested in someone,
yeah,
and if I look away, I have a better perspective of that person. So,
yeah.
so sometimes, are you not interested in me? Type thing. Why aren't you looking at me? Or, and I also, even in school, a professor said one time, he goes, "Hey, Rick, why aren't you looking at me, man?" So I told him, yeah, yeah. And he goes, I told him what happened. I go, hey, man, you've got to really let us know what's going on. Because otherwise, if you don't let us know what's going on and be transparent, you only a number. You get kicked the hell out of here real fast, man.
Yeah.
So really, I don't mind hard loving. Really, really good advice
Yeah.
from people who respect is super, super important.
So explain what the vision challenge is, or what the is it a condition, or what is it?
Well, I will tell you this, because of that challenge, it really steered me towards wrestling as well, being an individual sport, close quarters. But I also, having said that, didn't shy away from a street fight when I was younger, because I was quite good at that too. But both my parents had a gene. I can't think of the exact name right now, but because they both had it, they weren't affected by it. So because I was their offspring, it affected me. So really, it affected the rods and cones at the back of my eye, which allows me to focus. So my peripheral is fine, but just my direct.
So you have to move slightly so that you can where most people look straight, you have to look to the side
A little bit, yeah.
to get the focus.
Yeah, which sometimes people think you're kind of dodgy, you're sneaky, you not really want to look at them. But no, it's so I train myself to look at someone to help them feel more comfortable. So, funny story. It's not funny. It could have been really fatal. Years and years ago, when I was still living in Canada, there was a crosswalk. So I saw the crossing guard walking back to her post. I don't know, it's probably 100 yards away. By the time I got closer, a kid ran out, and the crossing guard went back to hold up the stop sign. So luckily, I moved the vehicle. I was still driving that at the last minute. I was just almost home. So I would tell you, I went home and I sat in the car and I just sweat for about over an hour.
Oh, so you didn't see the kid?
No, I didn't see the kid. No.
Oh, wow.
So that could have been, obviously, would have been manslaughter, right? When I would have spent time in jail. But that right then I stopped. I stopped driving. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it was really, that was a really tough time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, so we were talking about the festivals and things that you want to bring to the Southside and to Dallas. And can you just explain to the people like what it is that you want to do with the cultures and mixing cultures and bringing cultures together and bringing these festivals and things like we discussed?
Yeah, so
because that's a passion for you too, and like celebrations and things.
I like when people have a good time and they're enjoying themselves. So back home, my town was called Brampton, Ontario, a real blue collar town. So there's a festival. It's been running for years. It's called Cara Bram. So you may have a Hungarian pavilion, you may have an American pavilion, a Jamaican pavilion, an Irish pavilion. Obviously, the Irish pavilion is always the best. Everyone they love to drink, Irish people. And we all get a book called a passport. And back then it was on public transportation. They'd pick you up at this stop, take you to that stop. And it was like a 2-week period, right? So it was real great. Everyone's enjoying themselves. So I think Dallas needs more of that stuff. Multicultural, as not just Hispanic or not just Black or not just white or just everyone coming together and enjoying themselves. I think we need more of that stuff, right? As we grow, we're definitely gonna need that. And then the World Cup's coming, right?
Yeah.
That's the biggest multicultural party in the world, basically, right?
Yeah.
The World Cup. We all know that. So I'm really excited to see how Dallas and Texas handles that, the World Cup.
That's cool. Okay. So let me ask you this, and we're going to wrap up.
Yep.
What is it that you want people to know about Rick Henry and what you do and what you represent?
Interesting question. I want them to know there's a humble guy that's got a great great work ethic. I am passionate about the sport of wrestling that's brought me to where I am today. If it wasn't for wrestling and good mentorship by coaches and parents, I don't know where I'd be today. I'm fortunate to have had those people in my life. In my life, I'm also thankful to Jack Matthews for bringing me here. I recall a friend of mine who was an Olympian said to me years ago. I went back to visit Toronto. He says, "So Rick, so it's interesting. So Jack brought you to Dallas in your wild days, so he must have saw something good in you, right? But I just want to be known as a humble person with a work ethic,
Okay, so one thing I didn't bring up was that thing on your shirt. Like, what is that? What does it say? Boxing
Oh,
and wrestling,
future
gym,
champs,
future champs. So explain that and what that
future
does.
champs. Well,
Because you can't be on the podcast and we're not bringing that up.
yeah. So
You have a gym down here.
yeah, we have a gym called Future Champs. We have wrestling and boxing under the same roof. Growing up in Canada, just like here in the US, we have wrestling clubs, right? Where we went over and beyond our normal high school or school practice. This place, there's no heat. There's no AC. It's just a hard
So
working.
there's no heat in the winter, no AC in the summer.
Correct. It's a hard working.
Just atmosphere.
Atmosphere, yeah, and hard working. And a lot of our kids, it's a refuge. A lot of our kids don't really want to go home, so they spend as much time there as possible. So we're dedicated to it. It's a good place, and we've saved a lot of lives and we'll save a lot more. Much like myself. In those times. We quite often joke with my friends back home that sometimes we straddle that fence. The fence is a good side and a bad side. Luckily for me and some of my friends, the good side pull us over, but unfortunately for others, the bad side pull them over, and some of them are no longer with us today, right?
That's a good analogy, the straddling of the fence.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
So what's some of the disciplines that you teach them?
Well, tolerate pain, discomfort. Also, we teach them that, hey guys, when you get older and you have a job, you're not necessarily going to like everyone like you in that job, but you have to tolerate them and get along with them, right? Definitely sticking to something for quite a while.
Commitment.
Nothing is perfect. Commitment. Nothing's perfect, right? But you have to stick it out and don't avoid letting others derail you. Too many times, people in society, they get upset, they lack emotional intelligence, and they quit a job or they quit a relationship, whatever. But let's stick it out. The pasture isn't always greener on the other side, right? So let's stick it out for as long as you can and see what happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. So look at this camera right here, Rick, and just tell people where they can find you.
So for RHI Management Courtesy Team, go to RHI Management at gmail.com. For our wrestling club, DallasFutureChamps.org, and you'll find us. We're also at 1300 Corinth Street in Dallas, Texas, right next door to the Bill Priest Institute. Very unassuming, dark brick building at the corner of Ackerd and Corinth. Future Champs of Texas.
So, Rick, is there anything else that you would like to add or say to let people know? Any kind of gem you want to drop? Or
I will tell you this also. A pivotal time in my life was when my uncle was picking coconuts in Jamaica. The coconut trees are probably could be 40 feet, 30 feet high, and my brother Wayne, he went to catch one of the coconuts, and the coconut fell and it killed him. Really, So
wow.
It was a tough time for my grandma. I remember the situation vividly because he loved coconuts. He sort of ran out of the house, right? It was also a tough time for my my uncle because people in the community, Jamaican people can be real blunt people.
Yeah.
They were calling him killer and all that, right? And I felt, I also felt some responsibility because I was the older brother and I didn't really look out for him enough. But
This is your younger brother?
my younger brother, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, his name was Wayne. Yeah, so it was very it was a tough time for the entire family, you know. So yeah, that was tough. Another time was when my grandmother passed in 1992. You know, like, so I grew up with my grandmother. She always said, Ricky, over time, once a man, twice a child. Meaning, obviously, when you're a baby, right, you're a child. Then as you get older again, she'd always say to me, boy, I'm getting old. I'm a child again. See, now you're taking care of me, so me taking care of you. So that woman has so much wisdom and so many, I quote her so many times over time, even with my existing team today. The other lesson learned from life is my friend, the white guy, said, Rick, you know, I was messing around in school. Rick, hey man, I'm white, you're black. Chances are I'm going to get more opportunity than you. And this guy, you know, he passed away about 3-4 years ago, but great friend. I really appreciate. Those are a couple of real strong moments in my life that I reflect on all the time. And I try and pass on wisdom to others about those stories.
Okay, so I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
And then we're going to close.
Sure.
Give me, you can think a moment, some wisdom that your grandmother, I know you said once a man, twice a child. What's another quote that you frequently?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She said, Ricky, I have to bend the tree when it is young, because when it is old, you can no longer bend it, right? And that applies to sport in that there's a long-term athletic developmental model which says you get kids to participate in as many sports as possible when they're 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? Get them strong organically all around. And then later on, if they're excelling in, say, wrestling at age 16 or 17, then they go a wrestling route and they sort of have to leave the other sports, right?
But they've already developed the athletic ability.
Yes. And then they specialize at a later age. So, because if you start wrestling or most sports at 15, it's an oddity to reach elite status. It's not impossible, but it's hard. But you have to start young in that sport to get really conditioned mentally, spiritually, you know, to be strong, to excel. Because you have to have reps, you know. You have to have reps at it in order to make it second nature, you know. Yeah.
So say it one more time. If you bend a tree when it's young.
Yeah. Bend the tree when it is young while it's still pliable, because when the tree gets too mature, you can no longer bend it.
You'll break it.
Yeah, or you can't change it, right? You can't do anything to it, right? So let's start early with whatever it is, whether it be sport or education or school, whatever, you know, any discipline. Let's start early, because it's just easier to get to a higher level than if you start late.
Okay. So start early. Bend your trees early. Thank you, Rick.
Walter, thanks.
Thank you for coming on the show, man. Yeah, right on.
Come back another time.
Oh yeah. You come back when you start doing those festivals. We can promote them
big time.
And maybe we can interview some of the other people that you have working for your company.
Yeah, they would love it. They're always ready and willing to talk about what we do.
Okay. So, thank you, Southside 457 family. Until next time, peace.
Southside 457.